And I will be breaking my more than 20-hour fast today with today's OMAD fast breaking meal. And as usual, OMAD stands for one meal a day. That's an acronym, which means I eat only one time per day. Okay, at least 9 or 10 days, which also means that's more than 20 hours per day. So today's OMAD meal, fast breaking meal. After having fasted 12 plus hours, I'm getting ready to break my fast here. This is today's OMAD meal. What is in here and what time is it? It's 27 minutes past midnight. And this is the first and last meal of the day, first and only. What's in here? 3 eggs, gluten-free pasta, olive oil, coconut oil, chili sauce, a whole can of corned beef, a whole can of Heinz beans and tomato sauce, and salt, natural salt, mineral salt, and here pink salt. So there's salts in here. So here's today's OMAD fast breaking meal. And I'm gonna start eating it live on camera. It's a whole listen it like a mukbang live eating show. So this is today's OMAD fast breaking meal. Get ready to break my fast. 28 minutes past midnight. So here we go. Oh, and Gouda cheese. And I'm very short about being autistic, misjudged, and gaslighter. You know, that takes a lot of courage to make videos about weaknesses or issues they deal with. It takes some courage, understand? I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with looking weak because I'm talking about some problems that I've had or something like this. It's needful and it's useful. There's other autistic people to find that video. It could have a good impact. It could be helpful for them. So it's something that can make a difference. Being an autistic for individual, they use my autism. The program knows I'm autistic and I capitalize on that to try to push my buttons. There's certain things that will mess with every person. If the gang stalker recruits the gang stalking fly markers to do to you, they will mess with it. There's some things that are going to be more effective, negative affected. The gang stalker point is about damage, understand? It's designed to hurt you, harm you, mentally and physically. Narcissistic abuse is brain damage. So if I connect with the left of your head where the mic's up, you might have the same amount of brain damage I got from 6 months of narcissistic abuse, understand? Okay. But you don't have to punch someone in the head if you're in brain damage. You just subject them to years of intense narcissistic abuse by hundreds of flying monkeys that work in shifts, new flying monkeys, even narcissistic abuse, part of their life, narcissistic abuse all the time. That's going to lead to physical brain damage, understand? According to science, okay. I didn't come up with that. You can search narcissistic abuse brain damage and look at some stuff there. Okay. So the narcissistic abuse you can talk about, it's physical violence, okay? It's a form of physical violence, where it's a type of violence that hurts you. What is violence? It's an attack that hurts the enemy's body, okay? And if you're trying to cause damage with your psychological targeting, knowing that it is a physical, yes, it's the same. It's the same as hitting somebody, okay? So I'm an autistic targeted individual and a Christian, okay? So there's not a lot of target videos in this world, real ones. It's like 1 in 1,000. Out of 1,000 people claim to be target videos, maybe there's one real one, okay? Now, I'm an autistic Christian target video. And if I want to record it, I might pick Christian autistic target video, okay? Because this is more important part of my identity is being Christian, okay? Being autistic is not going to get me to heaven when I die. Being a Christian will. Haven't become one, haven't got it saved. So, I'm a Christian target video. And the program does like my courage. Most TAs are afraid to do what I'm doing, to start speaking out. Say that's why they're so impressed by people like Jack Langerberg or other people that are like putting themselves out there. Understand? It's like enough is enough. I'm risking it all. I'm gonna start speaking out because they know that it means risking it all. Speak it out. If the program is already targeted with, or they decide to start being effective in work to expose this to the public, the program will target you more intensely. You count on that, okay? Informed consent. So I don't tell coaches, do what I do, cowards, okay? Get a YouTube channel, start streaming by King stalking. A lot of coaches are not ready to be targeted harder than they already are. And this makes them more likely to take you out. So I'm a total individual, and I get targeted with narcissistic abuse, narcissistic covert abuse by people recruited by flying monkeys and recruited and put up to do narcissistic abuse to me in the room. Understand? And online, which shows how delusional. I've had so many experiences. It shows that they have a false confidence, fake confidence. They're delusional. They're deceived, okay? And I've reverse engineered a lot of the tactics, but it's like they have to deceive and control the perception of fly monkeys to get them to take orders, because it's a crazy thing to do, to be in the room with me and bullying me, understand? Talking with psychological violence. That's a crazy, dangerous thing to do, understand? And since that's the truth, it's a very dangerous thing to bully my son. Like to get in the same room as him and start bullying him. Since that's the truth, that's a risky, very risky, dangerous thing to do. That's the truth. And I decide how risky and dangerous it is. Okay. Then they have to lie to the fly monkeys and get a false sense of security. Like, yeah, I understand, lie to him, get he would never. Mike couldn't harm a fly. If he tried, he'd fail at it. That's what it boils down to. What they've been telling our fly monkeys in so many words. And that's not reality, I understand. The reality will hit these people sooner or later. If they keep pushing it, sooner or later come to a point where they will experience this. Oh, I was lied to. These people told me lies. They told me this guy Mike is a pussy and he's scared to stand up for himself. No, the reason I don't stand up for myself is not that I'm scared to. It's because it's been wiser for me to not respond to provocations that are intended to get to dispatch the flight monkey and get locked out for 10 plus years. So I can't be making videos like this. Okay. It's just being wise, understand? So the program was to provoke me like the worm on the bait. They had a perp fly mic on a little hook to be like poke the bear head mic with provoking him. And what they're aiming for me to do is to attack the fly mic physically, which is likely to result in a lethal outcome for a flying monkey, or serious injury and death, and me being in prison for 10 plus years. So I'm not saying I'm going to do that. I'm saying that's what I believe that they're trying to get me to do with the provocations, which will lead to me not making videos getting more about gang stalking and the gospel and everything else. Okay, so I've had enough of being targeted. I got more aggressive all the time. Okay. And just because my aggression is delayed doesn't mean that it won't hit you. Understand my reactive aggression. Just because I've gotten good at control my impulses and not reacting in the moment, but responding later, doesn't mean that you never get consequence from me if you've been one of these people that have been targeted for the program. Understand? There might be a coming, understand? You reap later than you sow and greater than you sow. It's like a principle of sowing and reaping. You reap what you sow, greater than you sow, later than you sow, understand? So, yeah, it's like there might be a point where you get charged with terrorism and put on a tribunal, like the Nuremberg trials, and then you get hauled off into a prison camp or something like this, like the Nazis. And they went all around, they went to get away with what they do for some time, understand? But they got a real hefty paycheck, understand? They got what they had coming. So, I suppose part of the Nazi history is the Dachau, where it's like, and generally when the Nazi Holocaust camps were liberated, and the Jews now have been liberated. There were a lot of brutal, senseless beatings of people beating them senseless when they were liberated, because there's so much pent up rage being abused for so much that it becomes bestial, like beating, and like the Nazi, the Waffen SS, Ukraine was they keep hitting the pieces of bone and things like this, because there's so much rage that they've been built up by being abused daily for many years. I understand. And you saw more cases of violence like this during COVID, pandemic rage violence, where it's like there's so much pent up stuff that once it got violent is that people, they were more statistically into crime statistics, like beatings to a point where it's all the carcass and the person keeps beating the carcass even though they're already dead. Okay. So because there was more like anxiety and rage during COVID in people, and just mental, just suffering from mental issues. So here's the point. Now, when the Holocaust camps were liberated, you had a lot of Jews beating Nazi prison guards senseless and really brutalizing them. And I don't blame them. I don't fault them, understand? Because they have been abused verbally, psychologically, physically for many years. Okay. And that's a natural outcome of treating another human like that. It's another human kind of in 1 minute giving you 10% of the abuse you've given them only in 1 minute. Okay. It's like the level of violence that they can give you in 1 minute before you're dead is maybe a tenth, 10% of the violence you've been subjected to this person to for 3 years. But it's still kind of like a chunk. It's still like it's like a little bit. So I can relate to those people having been abused and never gotten even with them. But if it gets to the point where I have to defend my life in self-defense against all these people, these perps, I would not have a problem with hurting them bad, understand? I wouldn't. I might actually enjoy it sadistically, as a matter of fact. Meaning, I might enjoy seeing the pain on the person and that they're experiencing pain and hear the pain sounds and see the look of pain. I might actually understand. Meaning, if one of these people that have been working for this program work to terrorize me, torment me, abuse me, attack me physically, psychologically for years, if they attack me physically and I feel self-defense, their main goal might not be to do that. But it's like if they end up being hurt by my self-defense and I see them hurt by it, I might actually enjoy it in the moment, just being like predicting my own reaction to it. I might actually understand, which doesn't mean that I'm an evil person, and I don't give a shit what the perception is. That's reality, I understand. So I've had enough of being abused, I understand. This program recruits people who can fly monkeys to abuse me with covert narcissistic abuse, I understand. And that doesn't mean I'm weak, I understand. Just because I speak the truth. So the founding fathers weren't weak by talking about being abused by the British and tyrannized. And enough is enough. I was thinking about this. I had a disgusting flying monkey recently abused me for the program covertly. And as usual, it's like they're unfit, generally obese, okay, like light obese, unfit, no signs of having trained martial arts or something like this. And they pick out somebody who's physically more powerful and trained than they are. And they have false sense of security because they have to be. It's like, I mean, do you understand? It's like, oh, I'm built like a warrior. Okay, I'm built like a welterweight in the UFC, and I train like one. My life is a training camp, understand? And I'm armed. Okay, and you're a physically less powerful person. Which generally, I'm fit. See? It's like this fighting fitness. You're less fit than I am, fatter, unnecessary weight. Look like a person if we end up in a wrestling match, you guys out in like 10 seconds wrestling with me, understand? Okay, and you had the goal to be pushing my buttons and provoking me. Understand? This is type of stuff that actually makes it worse. Like the abuse, the impact of it. It's like they treat me like a person where it's like they must believe that I'm a really weak person to have the goal to be treated like this. Understand? And so it's like, yeah. Now, I do have a right to self-defense, okay? Some people say reactive abuse. I say self-defense, okay? I call it self-defense, not reactive abuse. It's a call for reaction. If a fly monkey attacks you and you exercise self-defense against them, you're exercising self-defense. Understand? It's like, what do you call it abuse? If somebody, let's use a legal case study like violence. If a guy is in the bar, a guy punches in the mouth, they punch him right back. The guy got punched, you understand? Would it just, that was, you abused the person reactively. Or would it go, no, that was self-defense, say. You got attacked right after you attacked them back. You attacked the person after they attacked you. They wouldn't call it, well, that's reactive abuse. Abuse, see, because now you're doing something wrong. The judge will, in a lot of court cases, will go, that was called for, clear case of self-defense, got punched the guy back right away, defending himself. Okay. They will go, that's reactive abuse. Okay. You attack the person after they attack you. No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. It's self-defense. So I've been talking with this gang stalker persecution for many years. And a big part of talking is recruiting fly markets to discreetly push my buttons, to push my buttons, to subtly gaslight me, do things I'm supposed to be humiliated, insulted, and disrespected by. Okay. And like push my buttons in different ways, like things I don't like do that. And I don't have to put up with it, understand? I don't have to. It's like how long I've been putting up with this, where I can really aggressive with people. It's remarkable, understand? It's remarkable. Here's another thing. There's several Christian ministries on gang stalking, Brandon Holt House, Andy Woods. I think it's cute that it's like they had this guy. They always work to promote us out of the jails, understand? They always work to promote us out of the jails. And it's like, when you don't like that you're a bitch made little slave boy, understand, Andy Woods and the other process. And I'm out here saying no to the deep state. It's like you got sold out to the deep state, you take orders to target me in the videos like sadly. And you don't like that. It's like, I'm not like that, understand? Here's another thing. I can tell the delusion of the people in the program. Well, how can I tell that it's like delusional in the program, like narcissistic projection? It's like per pastor, Reverend Arnold, is on these gang stalking pastors that has several times. It's like, I didn't make a Reverend Arnold for a while. I make a video. Reverend Arnold is a fake false gospel inherited, something like this. And next time makes a video, there's some veiled thread in the video about it. She's like, don't keep making videos about something like this. And because I saw him, it's like, oh, he's trying to control my behavior with intimidation and threats. Makes me mad. I make another video today. So that video wouldn't happen. But because he's like, he acts like he thinks that he has the power to control my behavior with intimidation and threats, that makes me like double down on more anti-Reverend God videos next week, understand? See? But still, I see the same tactic over the years. It's like, still try to get me to stop making videos by threatening me. And which only led to me making more videos, okay? So that indicates like projected identification disorders, where it's like, I'm projecting Mike. One of the things I don't like about how courageous he is that I got bitch made by the deep state from fear, being a coward, like to start work for us. I was scared to say no. Mike has courage. Okay. So it's like, I'm projecting. It's like, yeah, I think that Mike is like me, that he can be got to shut up if you tell him something. So it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So I have a right to, or be enraged and outraged at outrageous, enraging behavior, and I have the right to defend myself. Now, here's the point. The reason I haven't been attacked if I Mike is physically when in the room bullying me, even though I could really hurt her bad, and it would have like zero chance to leave the room unharmed, understand, if I decide to attack her. The reason I haven't is not that I'm think that I can. No, it's that it hasn't been wise. Understand? It's because it hasn't been wise. Here's the other thing I'm there with. being less narcissistic than the average person. The poor was not, Mike, you're not autistic, you're a narcissist. Stop projecting, bitch. You're coming up next, quite possibly. Okay. I looked at video recently, but I had Andy Woods as a guest. And it looks like it's like they treat him, and it looks like he's a narcissist who cares a lot about admiration, be respected. And also like they're trying to trigger somebody who is treating like they're a narcissist by like, oh, this is going to give narcissist injury. We think that Mike's a narcissist. So let's say we admire and respect Ed Woods. And then it's like, stop treating like I'm a narcissist. I'm not a fucking narcissist. I had people before tell me I'm a narcissist. I'm autistic, not a narcissist, understand? And anybody who understands narcissism would think I'm a fucking narcissist. Now, there can be an overlap of symptoms, like the uncanny valley from autistic masking, where it's like a superficial, performative socializing thing. Okay. And see, in that way, there can be an overlap of like a narcissist or a psychopath, and an overlap in decreased empathy. See, now is an autistic person, are you right to guess at them, say they're a psychopath or a narcissist, because there's overlap in some of the ways that it's psycho. No, it's like an autistic person has less empathy than the average person. Not every person, it's a spectrum. Does that mean, oh, there are people who are psychopaths that have a lot less empathy than the average person? Therefore, a person who has less empathy is a psychopath. Oh, you're autistic, you have a little bit less empathy than the average person, you're a psychopath then, okay. Is that the truth? No. And because there's often with narcissists and psychopaths, you can have like a superficial thing in the uncanny valley, or you can have an uncanny valley reaction from an autistic person doing social masking and trying to act like other people and disguise their social anxiety, like this. Say, does that mean that they're a narcissist or a psychopath or something? No, it doesn't. Okay. So you can also go, autistic person has been bullied for 6 years. Autistic people are more sensitive, more vulnerable to bullying and gaslighting. It's more likely to hurt an autistic person really bad and affect them. Like bullying, when more people with autism are more likely to kind of laugh it off and kind of ignore the hate. Okay. Whereas a person with autism is more likely to really be negatively affected by bullying and harassment and stuff. And it's like a part of harassment can be for years people targeted with insults, okay, which is abuse. And then it's like a autistic person is more vulnerable to abuse. Baseline has been dealing with it for several years at a high level. Is exhibiting, you go, oh, this is a narcissist, exhibiting a high degree of sensitivity to perceived insults and slights. And you can mischaracterize that and frame that the guy's a narcissist too. Because they're a narcissist. They're an autistic person, they're a narcissist because they get harassed with insults all the time, and they become more and more sensitive over time to being insulted, okay? Because that's one of the ways they get bullied and trolled and harassed. So while narcissists are extra sensitive to perceived insults, so therefore the autistic person been bullied for 6 years, and it's gotten really fed up and like more and more sensitive to their narcissist. I say, notice how there's an overlap. Notice how it's like if we got an agenda to control the narrative, and be like, we're talking an autistic person with narcissistic abuse, and you are the flying monkeys, narcissistic abuser. See, it's like, well, it's like the person is the target of narcissistic abuse. Flying monkeys get recruited by a smear campaign to target the person with narcissistic abuse, including gaslighting. Psych, the victim of that is the narcissist. Okay, that's real surprising to me. Okay. That narcissistic abuse will project the narcissism onto the target of narcissistic abuse. Okay, that's real surprising to me. Okay, and scapegoat projection, and also 45 marks like justification of abuse. So, yeah. This is today's OMAD meal. One of the ways that have happened to deal with not just the autism but the pink stalking is to maintain the lifestyle I maintain. Supplements, take a lot of supplements. And this is my diet. I don't eat a high sugar junk food diet. I eat, it's like the way that I'm living has been working to help me endure what I've been enduring. I don't give a shit if people, I might make more videos like this. about my struggle with panic attacks and how I cured it. And then part of the scene would be talking about how bad it was before I cured my panic attacks. And be like, I used to be feeling like this and I have panic attacks. And I don't give a shit that makes me look weak, okay? That takes courage to be able to, there's physical courage, like more courage. It takes some courage to talk about things that you've had people kind of look down a little bit, like you're having struggles with mental health or something. It's like a stigma there with mental health. Also, if you suffer panic attacks, now let's make it sound weak, but I don't give a shit on stuff because I'm not living in perception. A narcissist, like Andy Woods, the narcissistic abuser, and Raphael Garland, these other covert narcissists, they seem to be a type that the deep state get puppet past our covert narcissist to be flying monkeys for. And if not, it's like to get them to get the behavior to be covert narcissists. Okay. So what is the point? Narcissists are perception managed. I've been perception. I've been reality oriented. Understand? Not perception, which means I've been consistently saying that I'm a total individual, which makes people look down on me, admire me, respect me less. Notice how the babe's not calling me a narcissist because I have a high IQ. I'm not dumb. I understand psychology, which means if I also could get admired, respected, I'd be like, let's not talk about the gang stalking. But I consistently have been talking about that, even though reliably, I know that 99% of people did respect me less and admire me less and look down on me like a mental paranoid person. If I make another video, I'm not talking about gang stalking. Okay. So, I'm a reality-oriented person, not perception. Okay, and that's something that has helped me because I've had a hard life, and what I've become is a person that is focused on what reality is rather than what it's not. Okay. So here's another thing they don't like. That not only have they been, I've been gassed that I'm not autistic, I'm a narcissist. Oh yeah. Do you know what I feel like doing to you physically when you gas at me to that level? Understand? I'm not even going to tell you. But here's the point. I've been suffering from autism my whole life. I didn't choose to be autistic. Okay. So it's like, oh, Mike is not autistic. I've had people, and I understand that some of the people that work for this program, they don't like that. It's like they're a bad person. It's like they're abusing, bullying an autistic person with narcissistic abuse. Okay, as a fly monkey, it's like a bad optics. So it's like we had to be like, Mike is not autistic. Mike, I've actually been gaslit by fly monkeys insinuating that I'm not autistic, understand? Which is fucking disgusting. Despite being diagnosed as autistic, it takes a lot of courage to insinuate that I might be autistic when a psychologist diagnosed me as one. Okay. And like to know, yeah, you love fly my freaks. You don't like reality, constantly control the narrative. We don't like that the truth is that Mike is an autistic Christian being taught with satanic persecution and narcissistic abuse. So we had to frame this with lies and be like, oh, Mike is not autistic, he's a narcissist, okay? Because we're narcissistic abusing him by fly monkeys. It's like disgusting stuff. Really disgusting stuff. So Andy Woods those recent videos was that started making worth it. And very subtle. And I can see what I'm doing. I don't have to take abuse for anybody, understand? You've been warned. If you're flying monkey and you get put up to bully me, you might get confronted on this now. You've been warned, okay? Don't do that because you risk me standing up to you. You're risking that, okay? Meaning, people bully me have right to stand up to you. And I decide how and if and when I stand up to you. But you risk being stood up to. If you bully me, take orders to bully me. I have a right to stand up to bully. Understand? And confront him. Man kan bli hemlig för fel. Väldigt bra.